Hello, it's Sunday the 10th of May, and I've opened my Bible and my calendar today, and we are up in 2 Peter again, the letter we were looking at the other day, we're in 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 13. But in keeping with his promise, we are looking forward to a new heaven and a new earth, the home of righteousness. In keeping with his promise. Whose promise? The Lord our God in heaven's promise to us, his people, many, many times throughout Scripture. In the Old Testament, the prophet Isaiah was one who often referred to a new heaven and a new earth, the remaking of this world we live in, the changing of this world. Something new will come. We talk sometimes about the second coming of Christ, a new time, a new heaven, a new earth. We also think about the time when our life on earth is finished and we go to be with our Father in heaven, a new heaven and a new earth. Whether it's earthly bound or heavenly bound, they're both new ventures for us. But even on earth, we have new ventures, new eras, don't we? We pass through different eras of life, perhaps due to different kings or queens, due to different shape of the geography of the earth we live in, due to all different circumstances. And of course, at the moment, we're experiencing something different, out of which something new will come. And one of the buzz phrases of the moment is the new normal. What is the new normal going to be? Interesting to consider that, isn't it? It's been interesting over the past few weeks to see how climatologists have been saying how much cleaner and clearer our cities have been because of the drop in traffic. And there have been dramatic pictures shown of cities around the world before lockdown and since lockdown, where the air has cleared dramatically. And it's almost like it's being reborn, should I say, almost like a new heaven and a new earth. It's perhaps interesting to note how we tend to think of what we have been doing as normal. It's certainly been normative. That's what we usually do, rush around like headless chickens in all sorts of metal blocks with tyres in the corner, trying to get things done and trying to overcome all sorts of obstacles in a hurried frenzy of busy life. Over the past few weeks, we've been caused to sit back and contemplate more and try and slow down and live more of what might used to have been called a pastoral life. A life lived in one place amongst the people who live around you in a quieter, simpler fashion. Could we possibly see that as a way forward for how we live our lives? A quieter, simpler, more respectful life, respectful of the earth around us and the people around us? Well, perhaps we could. Perhaps we don't want to. Perhaps we want to go back to the rat race and all the stuff that was going on before, all the things that technology enables us to do. But beware, that life that we've been used to has only been around for a very, very short period of time. It's only the last couple of 100 years, if that we've had that kind of industrial technological advance that can bring us travel around the world in no time, can bring the rest of the world into our very hands via our mobile phones. That's all very, very new. For most of our existence as human beings, we've had the pastoral life, the life of quiet work, hard work on the land and work amongst our fellow men and women. Well, passages of scripture like this talk about a new heaven and a new earth. What's that going to look like? Is it going to be the busy, frenetic life we've had recently? Or is it the kind of life we're living now, a much quieter, more peaceful life? I tend to think it might be. And although we might miss some of that frenetic activity, the longer we're away from it, the funny thing is that the less we need it and the more, dare I say, content we can become if we just have the simple things in life around us. It's worth considering, isn't it? Are the simple things in life as interesting to you as all that technology? May depend on your generation. If you're an old what's it like me, you're probably quite like to have the simple pastoral life. If you're a young buck, you might want all the tech you can find so that you can live a full life. But it makes us stop and think the circumstances we're in, and passages of scripture like this. The simple life, the righteous life, as this passage would call it. Being right with God, being right with those around us, being right with the world. It's something to consider, isn't it? Bye for now.